Who are some of the guys that, I mean, we know the guys you expected to be the leaders, but maybe who are some of the guys that you're talking about in this locker room that have really kind of caught your attention with their leadership, and it can be their play both on or their leadership and play off the field as well?
You know, the one that sticks out in my just watching, I'm sure his buddies are going to kind of razz him when I say this, but I mean this with the utmost respect because he defines the word of professionalism. Plus, he cares, and he's a very competitive man. It's number 65, Larry Ogunjobi. I just like the way he handles himself. I like the way he goes about his business, and he cares about stuff like that. And you know what? He makes plays, and I kind of like that too.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah,
you see that in your first draft. You think about Baker, you think about Nick, and you think about Denzel, all from winning programs. Who just it's in there. They're just used to it, right? And you've seen those guys all have incredible impacts early on this season. I mean, we kind of have a monopoly on the Rookie of the Week award. We tend to win it every time. And, of course, it matters more that happens in year 2 and year 3, and away we go. But you have to love the way that this has started for those young guys.
Well, it's good for them. And you know, I would say that probably 83% of any makeup in the NFL roster is going to come from Division I. And then it's equally as important is to get guys from winning programs, like you said. And I think that's very important. And guys are beginning to make strides, move forward, and, you know, I can't help to watch those guys unfold and develop. But I bet if you asked each and one of those young guys who have won those Rookie of the Week awards, individual goals mean nothing to them.
Yeah.
It's about team goals, bigger goals than individual goals.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody exemplifies that more than your quarterback, Baker Mayfield. And I know through the draft process you fell in love with his leadership characteristics. And what we talked about when he was on Pardon My Take, he said, Tyrod was the starter, so I kind of had to suppress that. But now that I'm the starter, that can all kind of come out. Has that been fun for you to see him become that guy here at this level?
No, I think what you like to see unfold is he grow week to week to week exponentially. The position he plays is, we all know, one of the hardest positions to play in the National Football League. I don't think you'll ever master that position in 1 year, but you just want to see, you know, every week he taking a step here and a step there because it's going to take a year or two for him to unfold and get comfortable with the speed of the game, the complexities of the defenses. And you even see the most veteran of quarterbacks at times struggle against complexities of defense and make a mistake. But, you know, once you see it over and over and over again, it slows down for you. You know exactly where to go. So, you know, the most I'm excited about is each one of those guys you named, they have actually taken a step every week that they've been in the National Football League. And, I would suspect that they would continue to grow and develop as the years move on.
Baker had a great line today. He said, I can talk and I can lead and I can do all the things, but I don't make plays. It's not going to matter much. And you come out and go 13 of your first 13 on Sunday. He just lets it rip. And it was just so much fun to see. And especially after, there had been some time when the offense had grown a little stagnant and boy, to really take off and get clicking. And it looked like Oklahoma Baker to me. He was just bouncing around and making throws. I mean, it was fun to see.
You know, you got to tip your hat off to Freddie Kitchens for the way Freddie goes about building his game plan. How is he going to what does a quarterback do well? Let's put him in situations on things that he does well, and let's distribute the ball to the playmakers. I don't know if you failed to mention that when he distributed the ball around, was it 8 or 9 different
nine
different
them,
receivers? That's called distribution and getting the ball around. And that's what you want to see because that keeps the defenses off balance.
And he completed passes to every single player he attempted a pass to in that game, which I think is a remarkable stat when you think about it.
Well, I think 25 can't say that, though.
No, 25 cannot say that.
25
it was complete technically, just to the wrong uniform, the wrong jersey there. You know, you mentioned kind of the collaboration with Freddie Kitchens, and so many of the players on offense have talked to us about that and how that's been kind of a new experience for them. In your seat, going through what you called such an important decision, you've emphasized how important it is to be collaborative. And when you think about that, I know you said you're going to keep it tight, keep it small, but do players matter when you go through something like this in terms of finding the guy who's going to lead them forward?
I mean, I've always said you can't have enough information when you go about making a selection of this magnitude. It's probably, from my perspective, it's probably one of the most, if not the most important decision I'll make as a general manager. So you want to make sure you have all your facts. You want to make sure you're thorough, you're prepared. And then when it comes time to do that, make sure that when you get into that process, that you begin to ask the right questions and ultimately select the right person for the job at hand. It's always good to ask players, I'm not going to ask them about, what do you think about this or this, but maybe just ask them, what do they do? What do you think you do best? What are you looking for? That's kind of what I always do.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to control or contain our excitement because we see the young talent. We see the magic that's happened at the stadium on several times, and you feel like you're on the cusp of something very special. And we see this man every day. And I said earlier on the show, I never see you waste a step or a breath. There is always a purpose for everything that you do and heading in the right direction. And I think that we're just so confident and happy that you're the one who's going to be doing this and having this responsibility for this great franchise. And the reverence you have for this franchise, I think, is very evident in your work. And I think it's obvious in the way that the things have been done around here. It's exciting times.
No, I appreciate that. But remember, it's a collection of a lot of individuals within this organization. It starts with, you all think I'm joking, but it starts with ownership. I mean, they're very passionate, and they will give you any resource you possibly have. And then the support staff that I've been to, a couple franchises and watched the support staff, how they operate around here. There's not many better than the Cleveland Browns support staff in the National Football League, and that makes you excited. And, it's that old adage you all think I tease here a little bit, but you know what? Why not wake up every day and see if you can make a difference, regardless of where it is? I mean, if you come to work, I enjoy coming to work every day. Yeah. You know what?
As do we.
I enjoy seeing you in this little place every day. Now, your buddy whose place I just took in here, not so much.
Yes, that's right. We agree with that.
We do agree with that.
I want to ask you one question, because it is not often that as a general manager you go back-to-back years making two basically decade-long in terms of impact decisions, right? The first year it was the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you thought about that every day. How do I identify and get the right quarterback? You mentioned in your press conference the other day. You're thinking about it every day with the head coach. So far, it looks like 1 for 1. So that's I feel like we're in a very good start. But how are these different in terms of knowing that they are both unbelievably important? But are they different to you at all, or is it kind of the same situation, just filling a different role for your organization?
You're filling a different role, but it's the devils are in the detail of the process. We had 8 weeks. Now we have 6 weeks. And the process has begun in terms of how we're going to go about this. So we will be prepared, and we will have done extensive work in what we do. And ultimately, when we sit down and talk to the respective candidates, we're going to do what's best for the Cleveland Browns organization moving forward and putting the Cleveland Browns in the best possible position to win for years to come.
John Dorsey, thank you, sir. Appreciate you dropping by.
Yes, great.
That's the general manager of the Cleveland Browns, John Dorsey, right here on CBD. Pick'em coming up next. CBD 850 WKNR.